Okay guys, in this lesson I want to show you how to optimize your Taboola campaign for better performance and explore further opportunities. So the first thing you do is you come inside your Taboola dashboard, and as you can see on the left hand side there's campaign summary, and that's where you will be taken when you sign in to your Taboola account. Now you're inside there, you want to choose your days over which you're assessing the campaign. For me it's over the last 7 days. And through here we can assess different things. So the first thing, we can look at the campaign on a whole, what its CPC is, how much it's costing to get visitors over to the site, and we can see the ad CTR. Now ideally this is between 0.5% to 2%. Okay, that's the ideal CTR when it comes around to your ad creatives and a viewer to click ratio. And what we see here, the actual CPC 13 cents, it isn't amazing, but it isn't so bad either. But then we want to work out, through which countries are we actually paying 13 cents for, and on other countries are we paying less or more, because mostly this CPC right here is an average of all the countries I am running. The first thing we can look at is the sites, alright, where our content is being presented, and we can come in here, we can go through them. These are the publishers that when we're setting up our campaign, it asks us if we want to block any publishers, we want to block any areas from our content being presented there. We can most definitely do that, and it's by going through here you will see which publishers are publishing your content and where you may not want your content to be published. So I can open this, I can see do I like the site, is it okay for my content to be presented through here? And I don't seem to have a problem with it. But then I can do further research, I can see where they get their traffic from, what their demographics are, etc., and what kind of history this site has, and based on that I can decide if that's a good place for my content to be published. Okay, plus I don't really tend to play around with the publishers over here. In fact, I just go straight over to the countries, and so we can see in the countries we've got decent CTRs. As you can see, United States 1.2% CTR, and the CPC is 14 pence, which is coming in as the third highest. Okay, so Canada 19 pence, the first highest. Second highest is Spain at 16 pence, and the third is United States. So United Kingdom traffic looking decent, Brazil traffic looking decent, and overall all of these are looking pretty decent. I could do some rigorous bidding on this, lower my bid down to 15 pence. Actually I bid 20 pence on all of these. So if I bid 15 pence and I spend a bit more money over the next few days and niche down, take some countries out, maybe focus on just United Kingdom and United States, I'm sure we can get that down to 10 pence on the tier 1 traffic, and that wouldn't be also bad. Okay, and so that's kind of the approach. All right, we've taken a look at our publisher networks where our content is being presented. Now sometimes that gets a bit complicated to explain, but the sites where our content is being presented, we take a look at that through here by site. Then by country we can take a look at that, and maybe it'd be better for me to create one campaign as just a tier 1 and another campaign as the tier 2 countries. Okay, and these countries over here I may as well not run because they didn't get me much traffic in the £10 run. Alright, so that's that. And then the final thing we can look at is the platforms. Alright, so let's take a look at this, and it's not just the final thing. Of course we've got the targeting yet to look at, but these are some of the most solid factors, but all factors must be taken into consideration regardless. So we got our platforms, and we obviously got only 3 platforms: smartphone, desktop, tablet. Now if you're running all of them, most likely most of your traffic will go to smartphone. That's why I run with all of them for a while, but then within 48-72 hours I will change it around to desktop only, because that always proves to be the most valuable traffic. So if we look, actually the desktop traffic is cheaper than the smartphone, which is a very good thing for me. We're looking at 9 pence on the desktop and 14 pence on the smartphone, so that's quite a bit more, and the CTR is a lot better on desktop. So that article, I will change it to the tier 1 countries, 1 campaign, and to desktop alone. So that would be great to test out. And then the tablet is also not so bad at 11 pence with a better CTR than the smartphone, but more traffic, like I said, if you're running all of them, will be gone to smartphone. Now in my next few tests, I could do desktop and tablet and see how that performs on the campaign. Okay, and then finally we've got audience, which is all the targeting that we set when setting up our campaign, and we can go through them one by one, and we can see, you know, which one gives it the best CTR and the best CPC. Now, really and truly, the CTR is good to look at, but then again, doesn't always mean the cheapest CPC. So it's best to look at your cost per click. But at the same time, when it comes around to your CTR, the higher the CTR means that audience is more inclined to your content, which means when it comes around to scaling, it's probably the better option. It's probably the better audience. But throughout your initial testing, you are somewhat going for the cheapest traffic, but at the same time, you do not want to kind of jeopardize the quality. So that's why you do wide testing initially. All right, you spend a couple tens of dollars on wide testing all the audiences, all the platforms, all the countries, and then seeing which is actually producing the best results for you. And once you start monetizing and you have the publishing network set up on your site, then Google Analytics will tell you which country, which audiences are actually making you the most money. So right now we're just optimizing based on the numbers we see inside the traffic network, but once we start monetizing, then we can put these numbers against what we see inside our revenue dashboard, and we can work out, well, maybe one country costs more, but it's actually making us more money than the other. So let the numbers do the real talking. But when setting up your initial campaigns, this is the basic optimization we go through and how we explore further audiences throughout our campaigns. I hope that makes sense. And if you do have any questions, please make sure to reach out. That's me, Abdullah Ashraf, for this lesson, and I look forward to catching you on the next one.